Hello, Mary Meat. So, I want to review a book. The book I want to review is this one. The Witch's Cupboard by Anna Zollinger and Bree NicGarran. Illustrations by Anna Bylan. We just shift the camera a little bit so it gets a little bit more stable. So don't give anybody motion sickness. There we go. So basically what this is, it's a recipe book for various things you might want to have in your magical cupboard. Especially there's a lot of recipes for finishing salts. Now finishing salts are various forms of flavored salts that you would use to finish off a dish. But of course in magic it is also used to various forms of baths, spells, spell bags and all of those things. So let's have a look at the book. Here we have okay, this is something that do annoy me a little bit. Observe one page. Here is just some copyright and such information. Copyrights and all of those the things. Don't copy this book. Completely blank page. Please review it. Review it at Amazon. So basically create free advertisement for us. More blank pages. To our followers. Blank page. Blank page. And finally on page 11 we start with an index. Way to pad out the book. Anyway, we have colored bases, infused bases, making powders, using powders, and safety. That is pretty okay. It basically goes through various forms of powders, bases, yeah, exactly what it says. Then we have recipes. You have solar salt, lunar salt, earth salt, fire salt. Let me go through this in a bit of a hurry because there's a lot of them. Earth salt, fire salt, water salt, air salt, household salt. All of these are various forms of salts. Household salt, home, I can't talk today. Home blessing powder, clean house powder, heart salt, kitchen salt, bedroom salt, garden salt, pet protection powder, protection incense powder, catalyst powder, invasion powder, fire salts, bonfire salt, black salt number 1, black salt number 2, red salt, blood salt, ancestral salt, ghost begun powder, void salt, minor banishing salt, turn out salt, banishing powder, binding powder, shut the fuck up powder, general cursing powder, curse runner powder, hexbreaker powder, cover my tracks powder, invisibility powder, obfuscation powder, truth finder powder, promise keeper powder, persuasion powder, eye of Sauron powder, excellent, I love that one, out of my way powder, hold strong powder, job finder powder, career finder powder, business blessing powder, jackpot powder, good luck salt, lucky day powder, traveler's luck powder, bad luck salt, nightmare dust, dream dust, memory salt, divination salt, trance salt, pixie dust, notice me powder, beauty salts, lust salts, love salts, honest passion powder, lover be true powder, peaceful romance salt, peacekeeper powder, blue salts, frost salts, de-stress salts, reset emotion salt, salts for violations, emotional cleansing salt, mental distress salt, bodily cleansing salt, sore muscles salt, heal thy body powder, remove sickness salt, energizing salt, heal thy heart powder, We are soon at the end here. Bibliography and resources. Books of correspondences, online correspondences, buy herbs online, to purchase seeds, sourcing concerns on containers, which can be useful, basically what would be good containers. Then we have an index and we have about the authors. And another blank page, because blank pages. And like I said, and they didn't write it up, but they also have an introduction. So basically, what these are mostly salts and powders, which are used in, for example, hoodoo, various forms of folk magic, a lot of basically simple practical magic. And basically the recipes looks like this. So I basically have two things that with this book. There's a lot of various forms of herbs, different kinds of salts, different kinds of things that you need to do these recipes. If you have a very well stocked herbal cabinet, then this will probably be a very good book for you, because there's a lot of good recipes in there, and there is a few I have decided I want to try these ones. I just need to get the ingredients. This is not a book for somebody like me who isn't really big on herbalism, so don't really have a well-stocked herbal cabinet, because each one requires quite a few ingredients. What would you use salts for? Salts would you, for example, there's some here where you add the salts to tea. I can't help but think that will taste absolutely horrible. Basically, you have things that are basically salts and herbs, and you take a whole teaspoon of that and add to tea. That's some salty tea. But it might be good for you. You could add it to spell bags. You could add it to your bath water. You can sprinkle it around your circle. Toss it over your shoulder. Use it in spells and various things. And you would use powders pretty much the same way. So let me just take a few examples. Here we have earth salt, which has 1 part clover, 1 part dried lime peel, 1 part green leaf teas, 1 part tobacco leaves, 4 parts green colored sea salt. And let me just take another one here, which is a protection powder, which has 2 part white oak bark, 2 part green sage, 1 part basil, 1 part white willow bark, 1 part juniper, 1 part hyssop, 1 part vervain, 1 part witch hazel, 1/2 part white sage, 1/2 part heather blossom, 1/2 pint blood root, 1/2 pint red yarrow, 1/2 pint Solomon seal root. So there's a lot of ingredients. So I will probably not get the most out of this book. Another problem is that you see how spaced out things are here. There's not a lot of content in this book. Basically, it sells for I didn't pay as much for it. It has gone down in price. But originally they wanted to have you to pay $15 for this. And with so many blank pages, and basically one of these, you could have easily put 2 of these on each page at least, so that there would be room for more of them. Basically, they have padded the book as much as they possibly can, so that it will get at least some thickness, and even so, it's a tiny book, and they sell it for this much. Basically, I feel a little bit ripped off. The recipes are interesting, and they do look. I haven't tried them, so I can't really say how good they are to try, but they look reasonable and they look quite nice. However, I feel a little bit ripped off because there's so much blank space in this book, and they charge so much for it that does not please me. Other than that, it seems like a good way to stock up on powders and salts that you can make yourself, and it could be a fun thing to do, but you do need a very well-stocked herbal cabinet. So yeah, that is my review of The Witch's Cupboard by Anna Zollinger and Bree NicGarran. Illustrations by Anna Bylan. I'll give it 6 out of 10. The recipes are nice. There's some nice information in here. There's just so much blank space. I just simply feel ripped off, and that doesn't make me want to give it a glowing review. If you can get this book really cheap, I think you will be pleased with it. If you're gonna pay full price for it, just find something else. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this review. Have a great day, and blessed be.